Hi, this is Maitreya, spiritual teacher, holistic doctor, and I inspire peace and humanity by awakening the simple truth within them. And this is a masterclass on spirituality and the immune system. Before I share more information on this video, I'd just like to preface here that any information I provide is not medical advice. For medical advice, please seek your medical professional. A little background about myself. I studied medicine for 6 years at a medical school and graduated as a medical doctor, and I decided to leave the profession because I believe that at the highest level we can actually heal ourselves without necessarily relying on conventional methods of medicine. Now, I don't discourage the use of conventional medicine. I believe that everything in the world is at our disposal that we should utilize to heal ourselves. But I do fundamentally believe that each of us are not just human bodies, we are consciousness. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And when we come to that understanding, we can actually discover that it is through our spiritual body that we could heal anything in our physical form. The first point that I would like to talk about here is this idea that you can heal anything in your body. Is that possible? Well, I'm here to say that yes, it is possible. You have to understand that you are not just a human being. There is a consciousness, a spiritual essence to who you are that permeates through the human form. How do we know this? Well, if you think about reality, physical matter, everything is a construct of light. And when I say light, I mean particles of atoms, molecules, vibrations, frequencies, energy. And we have our nervous system that is powered by a life force known as consciousness. Your nervous system receives signals from your environment. Some people also refer to our reality as a matrix, a program, a simulated reality. And your nervous system translates those signals in the environment into a physical experience, which is experienced through your five senses. All of your reality is actually an illusion, a hologram made of light, and it is through light that conveys a signal to your nervous system to interpret it as a very real experience. And that's a lot of information that I just threw at you there. But essentially, what I'm saying here is that even though the human experience is real, you're here listening, watching this video, you're here right in this moment, you know that you're alive, you have a body, you can see your hands, you can see your surroundings, you can taste, touch, feel, smell, you can sense all of it. However, there is a presence, a life force that permeates through your body, through your senses, and it is through your nervous system that you're able to interpret those senses through vibrations of energy, and your nervous system conveys those signals that stimulate into a physical experience. The data of that is downloaded by your consciousness. It's quite an incredible system of creation that we are existing in. So how do you know that you're consciousness? There is this idea that is known as self-inquiry, which is asking the question, who am I? And in many spiritual ideologies, there is this very well-known saying, I am, or I am that I am. I referring to an existence. There is this knowing that you exist right here in this moment, that you are here. And this knowing that you are present, that you are the observer, that you are watching, you are the awareness that has this awareness through what you're able to see, through what you can hear, through what you can taste and touch and smell. There is an awareness of that, and that awareness is the one that is experiencing these sensations. And so that refers to the I. It's not a particular form, it's not the body per se. It is the one that experiences the body. It is not limited to the body, and it cannot be pointed to in any direction or any place. It's simply a knowing that you are here, you are alive, and that you are present in this moment. And I am referring to your existence. The truth is, you exist. When it comes to the truth, it's pretty straightforward. When we breathe air, we know that we are breathing in something, because you can sense the feeling of a stream, a flow of force that enters through your body. That is truth, that's undeniable. You can taste and touch and feel, you can see through this screen right here, right now, and know that this experience is real. That's the truth. And so your existence itself is undeniable, and that refers to am. So together, I meaning your awareness, and am the awareness that you exist. And when you come to that contemplation, that is what is known as consciousness. Awareness is consciousness. Now, the second point I want to talk about here is understanding what's known as the matrix. The matrix is the experience of life on Earth. What many people refer to the Matrix, if you watch the movie The Matrix, it's quite an amazing movie because the concept of it is reflective of our actual experience here on Earth. I would say it's a little bit different, but the concept is the same. It's that life on Earth, the experience of life on Earth, is actually a holographic program that runs itself through your nervous system to perceive reality as a physical experience. Within this matrix of perception, we also have an understanding of the function of the human body. The study of the human body through science, through biology, through anatomy, through physiology, biochemistry, and medicine. This is our roadmap to the vehicle that carries our consciousness in order to experience life on Earth. So our reality is very real because we can sense that we are here, we are present. Every day is a living experience. However, what's also true is that all of reality is just a construct of energy. If you broke down every unit of creation down to its finest form, it would come down to an atom or a molecule or a particle. Eventually you come down to the basic unit of energy. In quantum physics, as far as we know right now, it's known as the Planck atom, which is the finest unit of matter. This reality of energy, that is atoms, molecules, vibrations, frequency, that is not only existing in your environment, but also within the body itself, within every cell of your body, within every organ and tissue. All of it is actually dissolvable. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. This is known as Newton's law, which stands true even today, which is energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is transferred from one form to another. And as energy, you cannot be destroyed. As consciousness, you cannot be destroyed. What happens when we enter this program through the embryo, through the human bodily form, and we develop through time, which is also another illusion, we forget that we are actually indestructible as energy. And we start to identify ourselves as the program itself, as the human body, as the living reality that is this world. What's really interesting about this is the idea around death. Most people are afraid of getting sick because we're afraid of death, we're afraid of dying. And that's because of the fear of the unknown. We only know when we're in this program, when we're living in this reality day to day. We don't know anything beyond that because our minds don't allow us to see beyond that. However, there is a way to actually be able to see beyond what we're capable of seeing through our minds, and that is through this connecting into our consciousness, this indestructible energy, this life force that each of you are, which is forgotten because we identify ourselves as the body and the environment and the world that we live in instead. So here we are. We're in this program, just like you switch on a computer program. When you enter into this world through an embryo and you go throughout time, the body starts to develop in this matrix of holographic reality, which is quite a real reality, but it's made out of light, and quite a physical reality where we get to sense, taste, touch, feel, even right now. Yet all of it is just stimuli. You switch off your hearing pathways in your nervous system, you're not going to be able to hear. You switch off your visual pathways, you're not going to be able to see. So it's really your nervous system that's able to receive the information in your reality, that is able to interpret that as data that is then translated, interpreted into a physical experience. What's also interesting about this is there's actually more data that our nervous system is not attuned to. Your nervous system is attuned to what you're able to presently sense and interpret. However, there is more information in the space that the nervous system is not able to, or at this point in the development of humanity, is not able to interpret that information into more experiences. And hopefully, my hope is that as we develop as a species, we will start to discover more and more things about ourselves, about this reality, and about the greater universe as well. But coming back to consciousness, spirituality, and your health, through science, through medicine, through physiology and biochemistry, we've been able to develop a roadmap to understand the way that our body works within what we call life. And so let's talk about physiology, which brings me to my third point here. And that is that your physiology is quite intelligent. It's more intelligent than even the highest technologies that human beings have created. Computers, artificial intelligence, whatever it is that humanity has created, your body is even more intelligent than that. And I call it organic intelligence. It's the most sophisticated technology known to humankind. And it's so sophisticated that we don't even understand our own intelligence. So to understand the physiology of our bodies, from what we know thus far, we have a system of homeostasis that controls the function of the human body. And one I've mentioned is the nervous system. 2, the endocrine system, which is the releasing of chemicals, of hormones that regulates emotions and thoughts and feelings and bodily reactions in the body. And the environment being your surroundings. So what affects all of those 3 components? Well, let's think about the heart rate, right? Let's think about your heart rate. We know that when you are nervous or excited or you are frightened, your heart begins to race. Who here experiences that? Everybody does, right? And that occurs for several reasons. 1, your environment. So there is something that's happening in your environment that's causing your mind, your nervous system to kick into gear to interpret the environment as to whether it's dangerous or safe. It's a protective mechanism, and this causes your heart to race, and it races so that blood is then able to get pumped into the muscles, into all of the areas of the body that needs the supply of oxygen and nutrients through the bloodstream to get your body moving into a place where you are safe. It's the same thing with blood pressure. Whenever you are stressed or anxious, or even the regulation of getting out of a dangerous situation known as the fight or flight response, there is a change, a fluctuation in blood pressure where there is vasodilation, meaning that there's an expansion of your blood vessels in your skeletal muscles, and a constriction of your blood vessels known as vasoconstriction in your organs, so that blood can then get diverted in that moment to areas where it's most needed, so that it can optimize your ability to get out of a dangerous situation. The body is such a marvel that it is designed in a way to protect you from the dangers that this environment, our planet, can present itself to the human body. We also experience changes in the digestive system. You get acid secretions whenever you feel hungry, even when you feel stressed out. There is a cranial nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, known as the vagus nerve, which responds to your emotions. So if you're feeling stressed out, that directly causes acid production in your stomach, and it's quite often associated with stomach ulcers when someone has a high level of anxiety. Imagine times when you felt really upset about something, so upset that it's just made you feel like throwing up. That comes from your 10th cranial nerve, this nerve that extends all the way from your digestive tract to your brainstem and to the actual brain. So you can see here that the environment, what you're perceiving in your reality, and what's occurring emotionally within you, within your body, your thoughts, and the chemicals that are released within the body are all interconnected into changing the physiology of the body. Another example is arousal. The purpose of evolution for the human species is procreation, and so we're designed in a way that when we see something attractive for a male and a female, whatever attributes are attractive to those different sexes is going to create an arousal in the body. And that's purely from emotion. And you've got hormones that get released, like oxytocin, which is known as the love hormone. You get other hormones released like nitric oxide, chemicals, nitric oxide. You get happy hormones released like endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin. We also have other examples here of temperature regulation. Whenever your body is in a really cold environment, in order to protect your blood circulation, your blood vessels constrict, and that is to conserve the heat in the body so that your blood is protected, the bloodstream is protected, your blood circulation is protected from the cold temperatures. And the opposite occurs when you are in a hot environment. Vasodilation occurs so that fluid can get released, so that the body can cool down. And one last example here, more directly correlated to your immune system, which is stress. So stress, described as anxiety, overwhelm, fear, these are examples of an emotional state that causes a release of cortisol, the hormone cortisol, in your adrenal glands. And this is a hormone that gets released to regulate the immune system. It causes an increase in glucose in the bloodstream, and it also causes an increase of inflammatory cells. And these inflammatory cells cause a disruption in the activity of your immune system. Now, cortisol is usually released in events of stress when your body is compromised through a dangerous event, such as a lion or a tiger or a life-threatening event in your environment that requires your body to shut down and other parts of your body to get into action to get away from this dangerous stimuli. However, when it comes to things like stress, your day-to-day worries in life, things that might be happening in your environment, like for example what's happened in recent years with the pandemic, the stresses and the social anxieties that come from that has an effect on your immune system. It causes the release of cortisol, and the body doesn't know the difference. This brings me to my fourth point here. If you're talking about the immune system is designed to protect you from foreign pathogens attacking your body. What are those foreign pathogens? They are classified as either viruses, bacteria, parasites, or foreign molecules, foreign objects, things that are not familiar to the human body that enters into the bloodstream. It might happen when you get a cut or a wound, or you inhale something, or you digest something that doesn't belong inside the body. Your immune system has an army of cells, and they're known quite broadly as white blood cells. These white blood cells, to name a few, are macrophages, phagocytes, B cells, T cells, natural killer cells. There are these different types. They're given really fancy names. But essentially, they're all classified as white blood cells, and they work together as a team in this intricate system to detect, to flag, and to destroy anything that is a threat to your body. Now, what happens when you are stressed out, when you experience fear, when you get into an emotional state that gets you into this state of stress or anxiety or fear or overwhelm, is that your immune system, these particular white blood cells are basically swept aside. Their activity is diminished because of the release of chemicals in the body as a result of your emotional state. Now, it's important to also understand here that every cell in your body is instructed by DNA, and your perceptions, life experiences, memories, and unreleased traumas are some of the strongest signals that affects the transcription, i.e. transcription is another word to describe rewriting of DNA in every cell of your body. Think of it as a ripple of vibration that affects everything. Kind of like a stone in a pond. When you throw a stone in a pond, the whole pond is affected by the impact of the stone in the water, just like the impact of a traumatic event in your life, a traumatic emotion, can also equally have this ripple effect inside every cell of your body. You have millions upon millions upon millions of cells inside of your body, and an impactful event through your emotional state is also a signal that ripples out through every cell of your body. And how it actually affects every cell of your body is through the rewriting of your DNA. Again, this is a lot of information, and I encourage you to re-watch this video. The message that I wish to convey here for you to take away is how powerful your state of being is, in that it is actually affecting the genetic instructions of every cell of your body. And thus it's actually affecting the physiology of your body, and going broader into this understanding that what is the body? Well, the body and our physical environment is actually just a matter. It's a hologram of light that your consciousness is experiencing. Bringing all of this together gives you a very clear picture of how you can actually take charge of your health. Now, this is not something that's taught in conventional medicine, because what I'm talking about is now treading into the realms of quantum physics, right? I'm talking about consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness, i.e., your awareness that you are not just a physical body, you're actually an energy that is experiencing your body and the world, and that you are more identified to the energy that you are rather than actually the body and the mind. And by coming to that understanding, you then realize that you actually have more power over your body than previously you would have realized. And again, conventional medicine does not address this, because in conventional medicine, what we know thus far is that we know the roadmap of the body. We know that we have chemicals and hormones that are released, but we haven't actually bridged the gap between how your thoughts and emotions, how much of an effect that has on the DNA and on the cell expression in your body. And when we're talking about going a level deeper into this, it's that what is actually affecting the thoughts and emotions in your body, well, it's the connection to your consciousness that is going to give you command over that. So what's the solution here? Well, the solution here is transcending the mind. Transcending the mind, the matrix, and connecting into your consciousness. And in another way, you could refer to this as your higher self, a higher power, God, whatever it is that resonates with you. But there is a higher power, a higher source that is responsible for all of existence, and you are it. And when you can access this realm of consciousness, where you are now identifying yourself as the awareness of the body and not the body itself, you are now taking command of the cell signaling pathways in the body. Transcendental meditation is where you are experiencing yourself as within the body as well as outside of the body. Oneness, one universal consciousness. I am you, you are in me. And when I'm talking about transcendental meditation, it's actually being able to get into the subconscious mind through the practice of meditation. And meditation is, many people know what meditation is. However, you can meditate at a very surface level. And then there's meditation where you're actually going deep within that surface level to a point where you are in the experience of yourself both inside and outside of the body. It means that you can experience yourself as oneness, as one consciousness, and in some ways is also referred to as enlightenment. It means that you are now in the experience of knowing that you are not just the physical body, you are a consciousness, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And when you can get into this state and be in this state for longer and longer and longer periods of time, you're actually sending clearer signals into the body that is going to produce healthier results for your body. Thank you for joining me on this masterclass, and if this information has really intrigued you, I invite you to join me on a 6-week deep dive where we extract all memories, traumas, and karmic attachments to take command of your body system and learn how to self-heal yourself. For more information on this, you can contact me directly on Instagram or Facebook as Maitreya Philip, and I would be happy to have more of an in-depth discussion about what the possibilities may be for you in being able to self-heal. Thank you so much for watching, and remember that you have all of the power to heal yourself.